Hey everyone, it's Jay, your favorite house husbando here, doing a little shopping for today's thing. We got some cheese, we got some heavy cream, and it's gonna be a really good thing. We just need to grab some Fritos, and then we're gonna head to the kitchen and get to work. So I'm looking excited to this. I hope you're looking forward to this, because I'm gonna show you how to make homemade cosmic chili pasta. The idea of this recipe came from the alien pizza planet in Tomorrowland, which is vaguely Toy Story related, to tie in with, of course, Toy Story 4, which we're all super hyped for, I hope. And I loved this recipe. It used to be on the menu, then they take it off, then they put it on again, then they take it off. So I'm going to show you how to do this at home, so if you ever have the craving, you can solve it yourself instead of having to be, oh, do they have it, do they have it, do they have it? And for those of you who've never had this before, I really recommend making this. It is a delicious recipe and you're going to love it. There are 800 types of Fritos, and all I'm looking for is regular. Just remember regular Fritos? Just regular? Not super flavor, not big old scoops, but just regular old Fritos. The original, at the very bottom of all the flavors. Thank you. Okay, so the ingredients you're primarily going to need are some... God, now I screwed up.
It's okay.
The ingredients you're primarily going to need, of course, is your pasta, which we went with the wheel style here, which is what they use at Disneyland. Cheese, and you don't want to use shredded cheese, you want to use a block of cheese and either shred it yourself or chop it up. It'll cook better, trust me. Some heavy cream, this is whipping cream, but it's going to fall kind of in the same category. Fritos. Ideally just regular, but if you want to experiment, by all means. Chili and a handful of spices. In this case, I'm using salt, garlic powder, and cayenne. However, it is also recommended to maybe use dried mustard or onion powder if you have those flavor choices for yourself. Lastly, of course, we need butter and flour, which are not pictured here, but should be in your kitchen because everyone should have butter and flour. So in this pot right here, we have our wheel macaroni, which is the style they use at the Disney park. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. Do it as you would any kind of pasta. A little bit of salt in the water, boil it, let it sit there until it gets a little more softer, and it'll be good to work with. Over in this pot, we're going to start making our sauce. And you do this beginning with melting down some butter. We're going to try to make a roux, which is kind of the base for the sauce. And this will be done by taking this butter and throwing some flour in here and whipping it up until it actually becomes a bit of a sauce. And then after that, we will move into our next phase of making this delicious homemade cheese sauce. Once it's melted, add in your flour, about a half cup to a full cup will work, until it starts reaching an orangey yellow color. Then you want to add in about 1/3 cup of cream and stir it until it starts to thicken up like it is right here. At this point, you will add your cheese and whatever spices you want to add into it. At this point, we'll be adding in the garlic powder after I get enough cheese in here. Now, you're going to want to kind of gauge from look and the melt of the cheese how it's really thickening up here fast. How cheesy you want it to be, and of course, garlic powder and possibly even mustard seed if you have it, if to your taste as well. And when this gets to be a bright yellow color, you'll know it is the cheese sauce you are looking for. So if done right, your sauce should start to look something like this once you've poured in all the cheese and everything. If it gets a little too watery, add a little extra flour. If it gets a little too thick, add a little extra cream. But for the most part, the cheese should melt and blend in with everything like this. You'll have a nice, rich thickness to it, so like that, and should have a good, strong cheese flavor to it. Now once you're done with this stage, you take this and you put it on top of our noodles, which have already been drained. So let's get that part done, shall we? Oh wait, did I try this?
It's off.
Burner's off. Okay, off, 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 and off.
Off, off, off.
You're hard up, Velveeta, you bastard. So you want to make sure your pasta is completely tossed with the cheese, all of it covered and together. It should be fairly easy to do. The sauce, you know, having the butter and what have you in it should make it malleable enough to mix with everything. And, you know, using the wheel allows it to get in all the nooks and crannies. That takes us to our next step, our thing of chili. This is a no bean chili. So I would really recommend no bean chili personally. You can try the bean version. I don't think it's going to come out that great. And the way they do it at the... Okay, I need like a fork. So once you have your chili in, you of course blend it up. Then you...
Okay, should we repeat that again?
Okay, as soon as you have your chili in the pot, you blend it up so it looks all nice like this. Add whatever remaining spices you want, like the cayenne pepper, maybe a little extra garlic powder or onion powder, again, to your taste. And then you prep for serving a bowl. Put about 2 small handfuls of Fritos there in the bottom. And you take a scoop here.
None here? I don't want room here.
And probably another scoop. Congratulations, you now have cosmic chili pasta. Alternatively, you could put the mix on top and then crumble Fritos on top of it. That is another way of making this, but I like it resting on top of the bit of Fritos personally. So I've shown you the approximation of how Disney does this meal over at the Alien Pizza Planet. However, this is not how I was introduced to this meal. I was introduced to this via some friends who would be self-proclaimed white trash, and the style for making their version, which arguably might even be more appetizing, is using Blue Box Kraft macaroni and cheese, a can of chili that literally just says chili on it, and Fritos. Fritos should be the most expensive part of this entire meal. You literally can get this whole thing at a 99-cent store for less than $3. You prepare the mac and cheese the way you'd prepare mac and cheese. You add the chili like we did here, and then you crumble up the chips. And you can only eat it crumble style, so you can always have someone's grubby hands all over your chips. And you eat it that way. A lot of my friends love this. It was like a summer kind of tradition with a lot of friends I had growing up. So you can always try it that style if you want to be a bit more on the cheap and a bit less on the highfalutin like I was trying to do here. So let's dig in, let's see how this goes, and I'll see you after dinner. So first, I'd love to say that the food came out great. However, there's a few notes I didn't say in the original video that I feel are important to say now. One, I was wrong on the amount of Fritos. It's only 1 handful of Fritos, not 2. 2 handfuls of Fritos will oversalt and kind of mess up the flavor. So you really want to just use 1 small handful of Fritos and you'll be good. 2, after you've mixed everything together, make sure it sits for about 5 to 10 minutes. The longer it sits, the more the flavor is going to spread out and be absorbed by the pasta. And lastly, if you do use a full box of pasta like I did, you might want to use a second can of chili or a little extra cheese. That's up to you. It worked out fine the way we did it, as long as we let the pasta sit. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the recipe. It was inspired by Toy Story 4 because Alien Pizza Planet, Toy Story. And Toy Story has always been one of those great movies. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad it inspired me to actually recreate this recipe for you. And I hope that you and your family and friends all enjoy it as well. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Share the video if you loved the recipe, or if you know other people who are foodies that might want to check this recipe out. And also hit the bell for notifications so you know when our newest videos are coming out. There's always a new food review or a new recipe. We got plenty of things planned. If you are a foodie or a fan of food, be it from theme parks or be it from my kitchen, it will be popping up and it'll be worth the watch, trust me. Also, check out our description for all our social media information and how to help fund us. Thanks for watching, and remember, this is your house husbando telling you to cook the magic.